Yeah, hi there. This is Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer of the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT, and you're one of my students. And in this particular video, I want to talk to you about how to use my grammar step to improve your TOEFL score. So right now you have clicked on this video because you have subscribed to my 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. Now, as you look at my grammar, which is step 3 of my 7-step system, you'll notice a series of lessons. And I want to talk about some of these lessons right now so you can know how to use this part of my course. One lesson, it's called sentence variety. This is very important because during the TOEFL speaking and writing, you want to make sure you're using a combination of basic and advanced grammar structures when you're speaking and when you're writing. So pay really close attention to this lesson. You also notice that after the lesson I have a link, and you can click on that link to do more practice with sentence variety. I think I've set up about 100 practice exercises for you guys, and I would highly recommend that you practice at least 20 or 30 of these exercises. The purpose is to get you used to combining sentences, and combining sentences using different kinds of connectors, either subordinating connectors or coordinating type connectors. Okay, another lesson, it's called being more concise. This is also important because you don't want to use unnecessary words when you're speaking or writing. Remember that during the TOEFL IBT speaking tasks, you have either 45 or 60 seconds to complete these tasks. So you don't want to use any unnecessary words because it takes up precious time that you don't have, and you want to make sure every word you use counts. This is also important for the writing tasks of the TOEFL IBT. But anyway, after watching the video of being more concise, I also have a link there you can click on, and it will take you to a web page where you can practice more writing. I'll give you an exercise of a sample sentence, and maybe the sentence is 24 or 30 words long. I'll say reduce this sentence by 10 words by getting rid of any unnecessary words there. This is a great exercise. Again, I highly recommend that you practice these exercises so you can improve your writing and your speaking. Another lesson is called when to use commas. Again, very important for you to watch this video. Without punctuation, it's going to be very difficult for you on the writing part of the test. Also, another lesson, it talks about additional punctuation tips: the semicolon, the colon, the dash, the period, the question mark, and the exclamation point. Now finally, I think near the end of this particular step, I have a lesson which is called Writing, Grammar, ESL, and Research Exercises. I'm going to go ahead and click on the link right now so you can understand it a little bit. Now, it might ask you when you go to the website, it'll have Writing and Grammar Exercises. When you click on the writing, it might ask you to log on, cancel, or student registration. Just simply click cancel and immediately go to the writing exercises. There's a lot of good exercises here. It's kind of self-study. It's called Purpose and Audience, Thesis Statements, Introductions, Choosing an Appropriate Point of View, Topic Sentences, and Transitions. Review all of these practice exercises. This is very, very important for you to help you improve both your speaking and your writing. The other area it's called grammar exercises. Again, this is also very, very important for you. Sentence style. This gives you practice. It gives you a chance to practice what you already learned in one of my lessons before. Also, word choice, grammatical sentences, ESL challenges, punctuation mechanics, and basic grammar. This is a great website. I thought about creating all the content myself, and my 7-step system, but it was useless. I mean, there's no way I can create as much content as this website has, and it's all free. And it's for you, to help you improve your speaking and your writing, and to help you minimize the number of errors you're making during the TOEFL IBT speaking and writing tasks. So again, I highly recommend that you review those lessons. Okay, and we go back to the website for just a minute. Now, if you're looking at the grammar exercises, you might be going back to these exercises or visiting them for the first time because you completed one of my speaking or writing practice tests, and I specifically referred you to specific lessons in this step. Now, I know, and you know, that grammar is not the most exciting thing to study. Am I right? However, by reviewing these lessons, it will help you, it will get you on the right track to improving your overall grammar proficiency, which is going to be very beneficial for your TOEFL speaking and your TOEFL writing tasks. Now, in conclusion, in this video, I've just explained just a few basic things about my grammar step. And as I get to the end of the video, I want to just give you a chance right now to give you some additional ideas on things you can do. Now, as you know, on my 7-step system, I have about a dozen videos from different students who scored higher than 100 on the TOEFL IBT, right? And maybe you've already watched some of those videos. Now, a lot of these students, as you watch the videos, they all tell me, and they will tell you, that they spent time reading magazines, newspapers, and books. And they did this for an extended period of time before they took the TOEFL. So you know that this is important. It takes effort on your part to do this. Now, by reading these magazines and these newspapers, and also by reading these books, it gets you used to the sentence structure, the word choice, the vocabulary, the punctuation. It gets you more used to how we use language, and then it makes it easier for you to speak correctly or to write correctly during the TOEFL IBT speaking and writing tasks. Now, during the speaking task, it is pretty difficult for some students to have good control of their grammar when they're speaking. This is true, it is. So if it's really tough for you, and when you're doing my speaking practice test at the 7-step system, and you know that you're kind of getting lower scores because of your grammar, here's one of my suggestions of something you can do there. Sometimes students need to write out the speech before they give it. Now, obviously, you can't do that during the TOEFL IBT. We all know that. But sometimes you need to walk before you can crawl. Actually, you need to crawl before you can walk, right? You have to do the more simpler, or actually the simpler motor skill before the more advanced motor skill. Alright, so what I'm saying here is if you write out your speech and you're really careful grammatically, vocabulary-wise, organizationally, developmentally, right, you try to get it exactly right with the right details, with the right main points, with the right grammar, the right vocabulary, review it a few times, make all the corrections, practice it a few times, and then give the speech and record it for me. Now, you can actually get better by doing that. And I have had students get better by doing that. In fact, I've had students who were stuck at about 23 or 24 points out of 30. They actually were able to get 26 points by doing this one suggestion. So it's something that I recommend that you do if you feel that the grammar and the vocabulary is just too challenging for you at this point and you can't do it spontaneously. Then you can write it out before you give the speech for practice. Now do that maybe 5 or 6 times, and eventually you'll find that the vocabulary that you've been writing down and the grammar that you've been using, it eventually becomes part of your own grammar. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you for watching my video, And more importantly, thank you for becoming one of my students of my 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And remember, if you ever have any questions about my service, anything at all, please email me. I will try to help you as quickly as I can. Alrighty? And keep up the good work.